YouTube, I got a question for you. Do you like Sonic the Hedgehog? Trick question, no one likes that blue little rat. Seriously though, I like Sonic the Hedgehog ever since I was a kid, and over the years I've bought a collection or two of his games, and it's time to do so once again. But what makes this one different, and what about the games themselves? Well, let's find out with this review of Sonic Origins. Alright, what is Sonic Origins? It's a compilation of Sonic 1, CD, 2, and 3, and Knuckles. All of these games have been ported to the Retro engine, something more than just basic emulation. Better collision detection, smoother frame rates, and all that jazz. The game opens with a brand new animation for the collection itself to set you up for more animations that stitches the games together. Right out of the title, you are greeted to this world map screen that recreates the various islands from prior Sonic games. They've even included the islands from Sonic Spinball and 3D Blast, catering to me specifically with that last one. I want to use this collection to reaffirm my own opinions of each of these games, because my own reviews are a bit old, but let's first talk about the Origins package as a whole so you can leave before the end. That is, if you're even still here in the first place. So on a gameplay level, you have 3 initial modes of play: Anniversary Mode, Classic Mode, and a Boss Rush. If you beat the game at all, you unlock a Mirror Mode, or you can get it right out of the gate if you had pre-ordered the game. Anniversary Mode runs in a full wide screen, giving you more screen space to see what's up ahead. It gives you infinite lives and replaces life boxes and 100 ring 1-ups, and continues with star coins. If you enter a special stage and fail, you are able to restart for the cost of 1 star coin. You also get the drop dash in all of these games. As for Classic Mode, you are not emulating old versions of these games. You are running these new ports in 4x3 with the Classic Lives system. To clarify this, you can't play these games as they were initially released on the Genesis or the Sega CD. These are, at their base, the enhanced ports for phones are at the time modern consoles. That means that even in Classic Mode, Sonic still has a spin dash in Sonic 1, you have your spin dash and music options in Sonic CD, Sonic 2 has its redone special stages, and Sonic 3 and K lets you fight big arms before you move on to Mushroom Hill. Speaking of Sonic 3 and K, Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles has different music than its original release. It is infamous for having no re-releases for over 10 years now, and that's because of music issues with past musician Michael Jackson. It has long been rumored, and it's recently been made very obvious. Very obvious. Music is subjective, and I have no feelings for any of these songs, past or present, really. To relate myself back to people that do care, I don't care, because my favorite songs are still in the game. But turning that aside, there is an obvious boatload of music in the game from all over the franchise, and not just the ones regulated to this game. So much that they even implemented a playlist feature for you to pick out your favorites in its gallery mode. Would have been nice if there was a jukebox feature like Sonic Generations where some of the songs can play in the levels, but whatever. This in-game gallery isn't just limited to music, it also has an image gallery for promotional artworks, character sheets, game manuals, and even some IDW comic covers. You can even unlock videos like the opening and in-game animations, even some animatics. Also, the Sonic Mania adventure shorts are there. And if you've been paying attention, you probably noticed the premium tag. That's where you use star coins to unlock even more extra goodies that aren't locked off by in-game achievements. Getting enough star coins during a normal anniversary playthrough is kind of rough. With someone with a little bit of experience, I only managed to get a little over 100 in my own personal run. That's where mission mode comes in. Mission mode has a bunch of special challenges for each of the games and gives you coins based on how well you ranked in them, and gives you a little first time completion bonus as well. And that's pretty much about it. Man, I hardly wrote 2 pages. But that's generally how collections work, right? Tell you about what games that are there, the extras that they have, and how they work. And it's that last one that's a bit special this time. As I've been writing this, I found out that there are some versions of the game that are a bit buggier than others. However, before I get to that, I'm going to say something important first to not undermine these actual game crashing issues. The fact that these games may feel off or some hitboxes feel a bit different were bound to happen. These games run in a different engine than the original Genesis games. Even emulation will have its own weird quirks, like other versions that most of you have already played before. Things will naturally feel different, that can't be helped. For me personally, I couldn't tell if it was the game feeling different or me having more screen real estate messing with my muscle memory, and it was probably a bit of both. But those specific issues aren't inherently bugs. As long as I could do this, and this on purpose in Sonic 3NK, which has the most issues, I don't mind any other little discrepancies that I ran into on my own run. On to actual issues I've read about. Specifically on the Xbox version, there have been problems with achievements and linking with your user ID. Even worse, on the Steam version, it is known to crash and have data reading issues, such as keeping track of your in-game progress during a run. It seems that just exiting the game and continuing from the main screen fixed that for some people, and as for the crashes, you might have to change the game from running on your internal graphics card to your external one. There have also been frame drops on the Steam issue, minor graphical issues, and bugs that even I ran into on my run of Sonic 3NK, some muffled sounds, and even some mismatched songs in the gallery mode. With all of these documented problems, I can only speak for myself when I say that this is still a good compilation full of the best versions of these games that I've played, with all their little extra connective bits that they've added and haven't been in an official release to date. Now, we can talk about more subjective issues. And honestly, the only thing subjective that I think other people would have a problem with is the music. Sure, I joked about it before, but it is different for one of the games, and out of all of their releases for Sonic 1 that they do, where they don't even own Green Hill's music, I'm guessing Sega had a much harder time with Sonic 3NK. At this point, the only thing I can say is... I can't even say get the PC version and hope for mods at this point, so turn the sound down and blast the music from your phone? It's rough. Some people just want to come back to these games and feel their nostalgia, gameplay be damned. And if that's the case, the only thing I can tell you to do is wait and hope the games get better. Next up, let's talk about that pricing chart that they released before the game came out. I'm going to be honest, this chart is dumb. Some of the things that are included are stupid and should be in the base version of this game. Someone really tightened their belt and businessmanned the crap out of the features to try and nickel and dime people out of their money. That said, some of the things locked out are some of the most nonsensical crap I've seen in a while. This chart isn't even that hard to parse through. If you wanted everything, you just needed to pre-order the deluxe edition. I don't hate most things on principle, and pre-order bonuses and ways to get money out of people who buy on a discount aren't particularly one of them, but I will tell you that this does still suck. It just feels like with these past releases, someone at Sega is trying really hard to pull an EA, and someone else is trying way harder to hold them back. But that's just a feeling. And this brings us to the final, less subjective bit, the price, $40. When I itemize the things in this package, the games, the art, music, videos, for myself who buys a lot of these things independently, it's worth it. But if you just want the games, I can see asking for $40 for only 4 of them as a steep cost, especially if you're attacked by your own regional inflation of game prices. I completely understand waiting for this game to go on sale, especially now, for a multitude of reasons, and that makes sense. But what's been bothering me is the overall dismissiveness of some people at the very idea of this game. It's just widescreen, they ruined the music, just a bunch of old ports. I'm not saying you don't have a right for criticism, but this package is more than all of those things. The amount of work and effort that went into this to be dismissed as if it was just a bunch of basic bitch emulation is really annoying. Mistakes with this game have clearly been made, but the idea of it, the work that's been put into it, isn't. For me, these games are more than just a nostalgia trip to give me endorphins. And with that, I think it's about time for me to talk about them individually and why I think they're so special to begin with. First up, Sonic 1, all the way from 91, the game that started it all. You run fast, you jump, and you curl into a ball, all with that classic 2 to boot. Many people will tell you that Sonic 1 is kinda rough, and personally I have to agree a bit on that. The initial fast pace of the first zone immediately comes to a halt with the second, but there's just something so special about the way Sonic moves to me. It's like playing with Luigi, but you like when he slides around on the ground. Every time I come back to this game, I become a bit more comfortable with this movement, so even slow levels like Labyrinth Zone feel a bit easier to handle and fun to play through. I'm very stubborn, so even if I have access to the spin and drop dash, I don't use them myself. And if I had to pick a fault, it would probably be the special stages. I just don't like them. They're nothing more than a funky desktop screensaver to me. But with that out of the way, that leads us to Sonic CD. The games are ordered like this, it's not my fault, I can't be blamed for that. Sonic CD is full of so much charm and imagination that it's a shame that it's kind of bogged down by some of it. Being handled by mostly a different team than Sonic 1 hurts it in every aspect except for its style. I originally had problems with the way this game moves, but its enhanced port fixed some of the collision detection, but it's still Sonic CD, so the level design has bunk collision detection built in. It's kinda hard to blame them for that when the whole gimmick of the game is to travel through time and they have to build 4 level sets for most of the stages. That being said, if you're playing on Anniversary mode, the drop dash kinda breaks this game in half, so you know. Back on point, it's all to necessitate this idea of exploration and running through the levels, and that's something that most people like in Sonic games. I just think Sonic CD tries too hard. I sidestepped this issue by going after the time stones, much like in Sonic 1, but these special stages are pretty interesting to me. I really like the backgrounds, like a fun chopper keeper you get to run through. And don't worry, in this game both the original and Japanese soundtracks are still intact. Very 80s because this game came out in the early 90s. But this time for real, I mean it, we're at Sonic 2. Can't believe that Sonic Team would just throw away their momentum-eroding gameplay by giving you a move that lets you go as fast without building it up. Jokes! Sonic 2, the game packaged with the Genesis itself, faster than before. The level design is more streamlined and the bosses, in my opinion, are a bit more interesting. You even get a cute new sidekick as well, a little hard for him to keep up sometimes. In fact, in this version his tracking's a little off, so it will take him a bit longer to get back to you sometimes. But continuing with the game, Sonic 2 is a refinement in terms of speed and pacing to the first game. It's not afraid to make you do pure platforming like the original, but it keeps this sense of tension and speed, even if you're fast enough for it to not matter. Even the special stages were redone to run a bit smoother than they were before, and personally I enjoy the half pipe quite a bit with its sense of movement. Tails can't even fly in this version, so that's pretty neat. The thing I always despise about this game though is the final boss and the lack of rings it gives you. Even if I'm playing it safe and it only takes me a little over 2 minutes, it's a bit much. And with that we reached our magnum opus, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. As stated before, this is the first full re-release of this game in over 10 years. And man, what do I say? If you think Sonic 2 made things better, this game went and did it again. Bigger levels, greater kineticism of Sonic's gameplay and the level design itself, and another playable character on top of that. Each character with their own pros and cons, and as for Sonic himself, he gets power-ups that put him on par with the other characters' movement-based abilities. But if I had to pick my favorite character, of course it's Sonic because he has his Insta-Shield. It's perfect for movement if you time it right, and it's perfect for attacking if you time it right. The greatest offensive-defensive technique in this game. The special stages though, I don't hate Blue Sphere, but if I had to make a tier list of the special stages from all of these games, it's closer to the bottom. It's hard to describe how this game makes me feel, but for me, it's everything I love to see in video games. How it stands by itself and how it improves on the things that came before it. It's one of my all-time favorites, and as for my playthrough in this release, it did it justice and then some, weird foibles and all. So at the end of it all, can I recommend you this game? For the Nintendo Switch, the version I played, yeah, sure, why not? Should you wait? Yeah, at the time of this review, probably. That being said, however much you end up paying for this game, once you've made that choice, I think you will enjoy what you have. To say that Sega and Sonic Team didn't care about this game is false. Lots of people cared. It's obvious once the title animation plays and you hit the world map. It's just that mistakes happened. You need to judge the right people for these mistakes appropriately, and you need to see how they deal with them before condemning anyone for them. You go through the right channels so they find issues easier, and you make sure to note on what system you are having the problems and let them do something about it. And if they don't, that says something. And at the end of the day, I can only speak on what I have, and what I have is something pretty special. And that's my review on Sonic Origins. If you like this review and you just want to hear more of my voice, please like, comment, and subscribe. Now, normally this is where I beg for comments because I just want people to interact with me, but more importantly, if you have problems, just be really clear on what it is. Do you know how hard it was for me to find out what exactly was wrong with this game when people on Twitter are just yelling, "The game's broke"? I'm like, where? For who? How? In what way? Even the developer, who's frustrated, still didn't make anything clear. It took me a whole nother day to find a link to Sonic Retro, which, to be fair, I should have looked first, but Google also got in the way. Ugh, pain in the ass.